Hello everyone, I'm Vanessa from the Volcanoes Library and this is Otis. And today, Otis is eating an apple because we have lots of apples. Because it is the season for apples. The seasons are changing, believe it or not. And right now, there are a lot of apples that are becoming ripe on the trees that grow in the area where we live. So we thought we would do some fun projects with all of the apples that we have. The first project we're going to do is make some apple towers. And so you can do this with the help of an adult. You can chop up some apples into little pieces, different shapes and sizes, and we're going to make an apple tower. And you can do that, or an apple structure. And you're going to experiment and see how a tower can stand up, or a structure, with using apples and toothpicks. And you're going to use the apples as the connection between each toothpick. So you can see if you can make a very tall tower or a wide tower. You can get as creative as you want. Let's see. What do you think, Otis? What kind of structure are you going to make? Experiment with little pieces and bigger pieces. Maybe the bigger pieces can be the base of your structure. And then, of course, at the end,
you eat it.
You eat it all, so you don't waste the apple pieces. Our next apple activity, we're going to make some apple boats. So again, with the help from an adult, you can take an apple and a knife, and you're going to cut little wedges in various shapes. And then you can use different pieces of paper and cut to make different shapes for sails, and a toothpick to make little apple boats.
Eat the apple boat.
And of course you eat the boat at the end, but not quite yet. We have to put the boats to sail. So then, let's see, if you get a bowl of water, you can experiment and see which ones float. If you make the sail too little, it might not work, and too big, it might not work. Let's see, do all of these work? Just about. If you have a straw at home, you can make some wind and sail your boats around. You might want a bigger bowl so they have room to blow.
Our idea.
Oh, just have one? Let's try that. Whoa, it's a storm! Whoa! Uh-oh. Why do you think the apple floats? Why do you think the apple floats?
Because it's heavy.
Because it's heavy? The apple floats because it's buoyant, which means it contains air, and it contains enough air that it will not sink in the water. Let's see, does a whole apple float? What do you think?
Sink.
It floats.
Well,
It's a little bit heavier.
Look, it's much bigger on the bottom.
It's more big. It's underwater a little bit, but it doesn't go all the way down. It's because it has air in it. So that's a fun project to experiment.
Hey.
Okay, so for our next activity, we're going to do an apple volcano. We're going to use science, and we're going to mix some different materials. This is some chemistry. We're going to and see what happens with the different materials. We're going to use some soap and some vinegar and some baking soda. I'm hoping that's baking soda. And a little bit of food coloring for a special effect. So what we're going to do is, again, you're going to need the help from an adult, and an apple, and a knife, which an adult is going to help you with, to cut out the center of the apple, like a little tiny jack-o'-lantern. So you're going to make just a little tiny center. You're not going to go all the way down. Let's see.
Can I have some more apple?
Yeah, and I have a Band-Aid on my finger because I cut my finger with a knife a couple weeks ago cutting some bread. So even adults make mistakes. We have to be careful and watch what we're doing at all times. Okay.
Right in the hole?
So here's the hole in the middle of the apple. So then you're going to want to take a plate to contain the volcano, the explosion, okay? So you're going to start off with a little bit, I forgot a spoon, a little bit of baking soda.
What?
And a little bit of food coloring. And a little bit of dish soap just for an extra special effect.
But then the vinegar makes it explode.
And the vinegar is going to make it explode. A few drops. All right, let's see. This is the moment. Is it going to work? You ready? Ooh, you ready?
Yes.
Ah! Whoa! Pretty exciting. A volcanic explosion. Pretty cool.
Nice.
So for our last apple project, and this can be a fun one if you have younger brothers or sisters at home that want to help and do something fun with apples too. We're going to make some apple stamps. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper and some paint and some apples again and an adult to help you cut the apples. So you can cut the apple in half like this, and you can cut it like in half like this way, or in half the other way from top to bottom. And then you have your stamps. If you want to get fancy, you can have an adult help cut a funny little shape in the stamp or in the apple to make like a little stamp creature. So then once you get your apple and your paper and your paint, you can dip the apple into the paint that you put on a plate. Oops. You can take a paintbrush and paint it on and then stamp it onto the paper and you get some cool prints. You can make a painting, you can make wrapping paper. You could use these stamps and then go back and color it in with more pen and ink or paint to create little apple creatures. What will you do? Are you eating the sailboat? So there you have it. We have a few different ideas that you can use to get creative with some apples. We have the apple structures, and I can't wait to see what kind of apple structures you come up with. We have an apple sailboat, which Otis is eating. You can make a race with your sailboats if you have a big enough tray or a bowl for water that you can create some wind so you can push the sailboats. We have the Apple Volcano and the apple stamps. And I bet you can think of some ideas to get creative with apples too that we're not even thinking of. And I can't wait to hear what your ideas are. Okay, so until next time, we'll see you later. Goodbye.